one of the topics that has come up, and we'll speak about it later in the podcast, has been about ASAP Rocky because he came back and disrespected Drake in his diss and on the new Metro album, and there's been a lot of backlash that has come from this, where people have started to disrespect ASAP when it comes to his influence in music, and also because he said that he's done wearing Balenciaga and he's tired of wearing Rick Owens. So
Yikes.
from the music part, I'm gonna keep that separate because I can have the separate conversation when it comes to the musical aspect of it. But when it comes to the fashion, I think it's very important for ASAP to get his flowers when it comes to the fashion stuff. So, in my opinion, when it comes to fashion and hip hop, the most critical and influential people ever is number one Pharrell Williams, because he brought a lot of the branding and Japanese influence and culture, um, and graphic tee designs and skateboard culture. He brought a lot of different elements of blending hip hop with different genres around the world, which has created this whole culture in itself when it comes to skateboard culture, specifically when it comes to apparel. Um, like Bape, I feel like you might as well just give him full responsibility of the success of Bape as a global brand and icon. Um,
Uh, I'll give him like 90%. Wait, cause he's the one who kind of put on. Um,
Kinda, he's the one that put on Nego into America.
no, 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 no. Oh yeah, yeah, no, for sure. But I'm just mean like, what's his name? Oh, what's that guy? His name starts with an S. Hop up out of bed, put my swag on.
Soldier Boy
Yeah, I feel like wasn't he like a big part of like people wearing that
making
like.
Bape, no, because
Well,
that's
he was
like
wearing Bape and like he kind of made it like a thing.
people didn't know what Bapestas was when
I know,
Soldier
but
Boy.
like he was like, I'm not wearing some
Nah, I
bathing
cannot
apes.
give
Like,
credit to
no, I'm
no.
not giving him credit. I just feel like he was kind of a part of that though. Like we're tuning in like regular black people from the streets. Like you know what I mean? I got me some bathing. That's the first time I ever heard of Bape. Man, he said I got me some bathing apes. That's the first time I heard of Bape. Me personally, I'm saying everybody has a different, you know, introduction. But I think he was part of it. We can't say that he was not part of it. Like Soulja Boy was a huge influential in general in hip hop. So he was like you know with the whole like he was like kind of intro to what we see now with Gen Z and stuff. You know, but he was a part of it. But no, primarily 100% is Pharrell.
And then number two, I would give it to Kanye. A lot
Yes.
of what Kanye has gifted to the world really does come from Pharrell specifically, but he's done his own interpolations of that Pharrell influence, especially when it comes to the Japanese culture. Um, and of course, what he's done with his own Yeezy brand in itself, which is completely separate from Pharrell. Yeezy, I would definitely Yeezy. Kanye, I would definitely say is number two.
Mm-hmm.
And then three, in my opinion, it would have to be ASAP Rocky. And honestly, it's kind of hard for me even to put him down on that lower third, because I would argue that even ASAP Rocky's influence on fashion is somewhat more influential than Kanye. And the reason for it is because I think Kanye's influence, I'm kind of giving him the number two spot just as like a whatever, he kind of came first thing. But realistically, when I think about it, it's Kanye gave us a lot of different things. He gave us the pink polos. He gave us the Yeezy seasons. He gave us the Yeezys, obviously, which is like nuts. But in terms of the amount of brands that I feel like ASAP Rocky is responsible for, I think it low key outweighs a lot of Kanye.
I kind of would put them on equal stance. I think they're equal because Kanye did have like you see everybody's wearing these wet tees. Like anything that he does, people love and are obsessed with. Like they'll do it. Like even with just the way his wife Bianca now is dressing, people are judging it, but the people who are into fashion are recognizing like, oh shit, like she's doing something. Like she wore some other things the other day. What are those shoes called? The Margiela shoes, the tabbies. She wore some tabby heels with tape. It was like called the tabby tapes. Shoes, you ever see that? It's like heels, and then it's like the front part of the heel is tape. And it was like a specific period in time in fashion that was a thing, and all the fashion girls recognized it. Like, damn, she wearing the tabby tapes. Like that's fire. So it's like the fashion people are recognizing that she's kind of starting this new wave. So people are continuously still looking and everything that he's doing. Like, people are showing pictures that he wore like in 2018, 2019. Like, damn, this that niggas are dressing now. Like, so people, there's always a continuous acknowledgement of his impact. So I think that he's on equal playing field with ASAP. That might be a hot take. I don't know, man. Yeah, I said it's equal.
I don't think it is, only because I think that the amount of brands Kanye has put, the amount of brands that ASAP has put people onto outweighs the couple brands that Kanye has put people onto.
But it's not even the brand thing. I'm talking about just like impact and fashion in general. Like to this day, that people are still mimicking the Kanye aesthetic. Like Skims, at its core, is Kanye aesthetic.
Right.
The neutrals,
and to me, the amount of brands that ASAP Rocky has put people onto is still, to me, outweighs that.
But there's a difference between putting people on and people actually emulating it. Because ASAP Rocky definitely put people onto
I'm saying the same thing.
Stuff, but the average person can't afford the brands he's talking about.
Even people emulating it, but prior, especially with a lot of brands that ASAP was even talking about, you didn't even see Kanye wear it until ASAP brought it up.
Yeah, it's true.
When I'm talking about Rick Owens, it's people emulating it and also still purchasing it.
Well, see, the debate has to be like, the impact to other people or impact to the world as a whole.
But I think that's an impact to the world as a whole, though.
It is, but yeah, it is, because the world as a whole mimics what celebrities are doing, and the celebrities are only doing a lot of stuff because of what ASAP was doing.
If people want to argue the Yeezys, obviously nobody can touch Yeezys. Like, that's its own thing.
Which is the aesthetic. Like, the Yeezy aesthetic has been was like a huge, like, when people think late 2010s fashion is the Yeezy aesthetic. Like, we think Life of Pablo up until like now, that Yeezy aesthetic is going to be like a huge, when people look back, that's going to be a huge like fashion trend. The neutrals, and like, you could not even say the Yeezy aesthetic, but like the Yeezy camp, like the Jerry Lorenzo's, the whole like layering thing, like everything that comes from the Yeezy umbrella is going to definitely have a stamp, had already his stamp from like the late 2010s to now. The Skims being as like a trickle down effect. Now the wet tees. There's definitely going to always just be this like, and not everybody. I see Yeezys everywhere now in the gym. Like this, before it used to be crazy seeing them. Like they're everywhere now. But I see. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with your stance. I just, in my opinion, I put him on a level playing field. But I'm not disagreeing with your stance. I understand your perspective. So you just have him slightly higher.
No, I still had Kanye too. I said I put him 3.
But you just feel like it's close.
I'm still saying that I think that Kanye's influence is measurable, and I think that because ASAP's influence isn't measurable, I think that people tend to disregard his importance when it comes to fashion, because nobody was wearing Rick Owens. Even Kanye West was not wearing Rick Owens prior to
I agree with that.
To ASAP Rocky bringing it up, to Jeremy Scott Adidas, before Kanye even had an Adidas deal. The Raf Simons, Kanye wasn't wearing Raf Simons until ASAP Rocky brought it up. And all the influence that Raf Simons has had, even just as a name. Basically, all of those names that are in the Fashion Killer song itself.
Every brand that he mentioned,
it's become popular.
Nobody back then even knew what they were. I didn't.
Right. Like Isabel Marant has become way more popular over the years. Like all of these different concepts, these were things that he was actively wearing. And while granted, Kanye, of course, was a style icon, of course, legend, and will always be more than ASAP, mostly because I actually think that it's just easier to emulate. When it comes to like the Chelsea boots, there were so many different dupes of it. I think ASAP is a little bit harder to emulate because of the specific stuff that he buys.
Yeah, his stuff was too specific.
But to me, it's kind of difficult to measure. I think from a footwear standpoint, Kanye, I don't think anybody might ever touch that again. But clothing, I don't know. I think that 2016 Life of Pablo era, sure. But after that, I think more people will look to ASAP, mostly just because Kanye wears like a lot of sweatpants and stuff now. He doesn't dress like that anymore.
But you know what? People look to ASAP though more so for like people who are really into fashion. I think Kanye is more digestible.
Because it's basic.
It's basic, yeah. So most people are gonna lean towards basic. Like stuff that ASAP Rocky wears is really just really influential on the fashion world. And then there ends up being a trickle down effect that's diluted, you know. But like that main impact is gonna be like people are gonna look to ASAP are gonna be the people who are really into fashion. But anybody could look to Kanye, you know what I mean? Like because his fashion is so much like easier to obtain, easier to dupe. Whereas ASAP is a little bit more like, all right, if I want these Rick Owens, I gotta get either Rick Owens or I gotta get a really close dupe. And all these dupes of Rick Owens just started appearing. There weren't really a lot of dupes for them until now, because now people know they're a thing. So that's why I feel Kanye maybe had more of an effect on mainstream. But Travis had, I mean, not Travis, well, ASAP had like an indirect effect on mainstream because he impacted the celebrities and the people who into fashion. And there was a trickle down dilution effect onto everybody else. For sure. The Rick Owens is the easiest pinpointable thing. Which is so interesting though, because how do people get onto them so late? Because it's not like he was wearing them like now. You know what I mean? Like he
I
still
don't know.
is.
I think I might have only seen him wear Ramones like once.
Yeah. But he
And
wore
not
the
that I
Geo
know him.
baskets, right? Or were those dunks? Did he have dunks?
He has dunks, I think.
There was a picture where he was wearing the ones that had like that looked like the dunks with the Geo basket top was like flared out. I couldn't tell if they were Geo basket or they were dunks, but that was like 2011 or that picture.
Yeah, I think it's a knowledge thing. People just becoming more aware. And we don't have to debate about who's more influential, to be honest. I was all kind of really unnecessary, to be honest. But I just kind of wanted to acknowledge just his importance and people trying to disregard that aspect of it, because I saw people getting mad that he was saying that he doesn't want to wear Balenciaga or wear Rick Owens anymore. And I think number one, part of the reason why people are mad is because when people listen to something like where he might say Raf Simons, Rick Owens, usually what I'm dressed in, people will go and buy Raf Simons and Rick Owens because he said it. So that means it's okay. It's a cosign. So that means it's cool to go buy it. And then he turns around and says, I'm not even wearing that no more. But it's like people invested their whole lives. Like he might have said that bar 13 years ago, to be honest, maybe 12 years ago. People invest their lives. They couldn't get it before, or maybe they got a dupe before. Now they can get it, and now they buy it, and now they feel like it's whack now because he said it. So I think people are getting mad about that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And the influence of Balenciaga everywhere. Like everybody loves Balenciaga now. Yeah. And then him just to turn around. So people were like kind of coming at him about that part of it, but it's like.
But that's really what fashion is.
He's put
though.
people
like,
onto everything. Like
and
so much of the way people dress
being
is
tired of it though, because if you were indulged in this for so long, way before everybody else, of course you're gonna be tired of it.
Yeah,
now.
if you're wearing the same brand for like 12 years, obviously
like,
it makes sense.
A new look. Like that's normal. But what I would hope he's not doing is just that whole everybody's on it now. It's whack. Like sometimes people do that. They're guilty of that. Like they see that so many people are on to some things, and now you're kind of like annoyed. So I would hope that's not what he's doing. Like you try to put everybody onto it, and now you're mad that people are onto it. It's like I just hope that's not what he's doing.
Put it on?
But I just hope that's not what he's doing. Because how do you get tired of a brand? If you love a brand, are you ever tired of it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think that would be like the equivalent of you have a TV show that you like, and then they just keep making 20 more seasons, and eventually you're gonna get tired of it. Like but
it's like
any
damn,
good
don't
thing.
hate on it though. Like when that was like a huge part of you at one point. Like,
but it's also not hating on it though by saying I'm starting to get tired of the brand. That's not hating on it.
It's not hating on it. But it's like damn, you bigged it up for so long to now be like, I'm tired of you. It's not necessarily hating, but it's kind of weird because like they, at one point that was everything to you, and now it's like, oh.
That was 12 years ago though.
Yeah, but what's he wearing now then? What's this new brand?
Bottega.
Oh, yeah. Louis Vuitton. Louis, yeah. But I feel he was always wearing those brands though.
Not the way.
There's no way that he wasn't dabbling into it before. So you think he leaned into more? Yeah, he definitely leaned into rap.
When was the last time you seen him with like a Rick Owens like short? Or
and that was like he definitely leaned into those brands in particular back in like the 2010s.
Yeah, because you remember like that whole gothic brand.
Yeah, the long line, Rick Owens
like
stuff.
He's been not doing it, but I just wanted him to more so just get like people need to understand where a lot of these things come from and
give him his flowers
and give the credit where it's due, because one thing that people won't ever recognize is that whether directly or indirectly, he is the reason why a lot of people wear the things that they do. Yeah. Because these rappers, when they're talking about, Emilio Pucci, and I mean, that's not a brand that he ever specifically referenced, but when rappers are referencing these different brands nowadays, they're popular. Like, the rappers are popular, so people are going to just go and gravitate towards it and buy it just because they said it. But remember who was onto it first.
And remember why they're probably
and remember who put those rappers on most likely or made the brand popular. Like
they grew up listening to Peso. So they are knowledgeable or fashion killer, right? So they're like, write that down. Right, or
any of the other stuff like HBA. Like let's remember like with Cardi trying to bring HBH back slightly. Like
and
remember,
Rihanna tried to bring it back too. Do you remember that?
yeah, she's always like kind of worn
Few years
HBA,
ago.
but just remember where it all comes from, and a lot of these brands and the way that we dress comes from him popularizing it.
A$AP.
Like Gucci and the black community, Dapper Dan was a huge part of that, and we'll give him his credit for that. Louis Vuitton's always kind of been a thing. Kanye's always been a champion of Louis Vuitton.
Yep.
Off-White, everybody's kind of worn Off-White.
Yeah, but that's still Kanye because he came out of Virgil came out of Kanye's, and like it's Kanye, but it's also kind of A$AP too because that was just that time,
right?
It was just like one of those things where the timing to everybody was just that was just what that was at the time. It was like the A$AP. You had the Ian Connors, Kanye, Cardi, Virgil, Jerry Lorenzo. It was just that was just that era. Like, and they all meshed. They all ended up intersecting.
And like Celine has become insanely popular right now. I remember in like 2011 when that Celine Color Block dress shirt came out and all the rappers were wearing it, but like Celine being popular now, just understand who's the people that really like made it become a thing. And I'm not saying that they made Celine, not by any stretch of the imagination, because like there's been a lot of really important designers that have designed for Celine, but that whole concept, like these things that people are buying today, the Chrome Hearts, all that stuff, they've been in existence. Like, let's not act like this is a new discovery, a new find that people are like just finding today and making it popular. Like, these things have been popular.
A picture of Jay-Z at like a basketball game wearing Chrome Hearts, and everybody's like, and the picture's from like 2009 or something like that. Everybody's like, what? Like, why is everybody gasping? Like, this brand has been around since like what, the 70s, 80s? Like,
people have been wearing Chrome Hearts forever. Like, it's been a thing. Obviously, it became popularized now, but it's like,
and ironically, I'm wearing it right now.
Just don't forget who put people on to certain things, right? Like, what's that jacket, Margiela? Like, let's understand when people are talking about
2011
Margiela, all I see is numbers. Like, understand who put you.
People are putting it on their birthday cakes,
right? Like, understand who put you onto these things, and don't disrespect A$AP of all people when he put most of these rappers, most of these people on to these brands, because nobody else in hip hop was rapping about these things.
High end.
Nobody was wearing high end except for maybe Kanye.
It was just Gucci.
It was Gucci. It was a whole lot of Gucci and Louis Vuitton. Nobody else was delving into these different brands.
It would be actually any black person, like my mom's obviously was born in the 70s. Actually, any black person who was born in the 70s, 80s, that's all they cared about was Gucci. My mom always talks about that. Like, that's why, that's my mom's. You notice that's her favorite brand, because it's just like ingrained in her brain. That was like the symbol, of the status symbol for black Americans for the longest. Now it's Rap, Rick, Bottega. I can't keep up no more. But who was at the forefront of it?
He was the one.
Like, he was the one. He was been into that. No one had to influence him to be into that. I mean, I'm sure he has some influences around him, right? New York people was always into fashion.
Yeah, he just said he attributes it to a lot of like just the Harlem.
Yeah, that's where the whole Harlem fashion thing comes
But also
from.
just being downtown. He said just being in the LES.
Yeah.
But
and probably being around like the white people that were on it too,
But yeah, I just wanted him to
give him his flowers.
Yeah, and have people acknowledge it, because just because he doesn't want to wear the brand anymore doesn't make it like open to disrespect, especially from the Drake fans. But we'll talk about the diss.
Because now they want to take away all his impact. I'm like, boy, like, let's not do that. Like, you could agree to disagree on different things, but let's not take away his impact, because like he was a huge impact. Like, I could personally say I've been into fashion clothes for a while, and I could personally say A$AP was the person. I didn't know what Raf Simons was until I heard Peso. I don't know what Rick Owens was. Like, he put me onto so many brands, right? And then obviously I met you, and we just built upon that, and like we kind, you kind of got into these things together. But that was my first introduction. Kanye, like you said too, with the Margiela. I didn't know Margiela. I didn't know any of these brands until Kanye and A$AP. Those are my two. Pharrell, for me, didn't have any really direct impact because I didn't really listen to him. I didn't really I wasn't really too privy with his side of the fashion impact. But Kanye and A$AP are my main two. Now you can see I wore that comb they F down hat. That was what, 2013. I got that hat. Remember I brought you it, and that's what we Comme des Garçons. That's how I found out about Comme des Garçons. Was A$AP. So you see, like, you saw like the real time impact on me, right? Because I had that hat and I brought you the same one. Like, that was A$AP. So that's crazy to even think to like even bring up that specific example, because that's another brand, CDG. Like, he put me on. So it's like, we need to give him his flowers. And like, you see what CDG turned into. Everybody wearing the Heart sneakers.
Yeah.
Like, A$AP was on that. Like, he had that Comme des F down hat, like that beanie. So everybody do your research. I know these little kids, they wasn't there, so they don't understand. They were great when all this was going down. Like, so They don't get it.
Yeah.
But the Drake fans, they gotta stop. Like you could be a fan of somebody, but don't disrespect and dilute and like diminish somebody's impact. Like that's crazy. Like to even for him to even still be relevant this long says a lot. Like he doesn't have to drop another album. So, and I hear some Drake fans are saying like, "Oh, why you guys keep bringing up his fashion? Like it's rap is rap." But I'm like, are you a real hip hop fan? Because fashion is hip hop. Fashion is rap. That's always been an element of it since the beginning. We could talk about what's his name? Mick Jagger, right? Like the not Mick Jagger. What's his name?
Mick Jagger. MC Hammer.
MC Hammer.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
I'm like, that's not hip hop. That definitely is hip hop.
MC Hammer. Mick Jagger is
Mick
crazy.
Jagger is insane.
I don't know where that came from.
He got the moves like Jagger.
MC Hammer, right? The pants. Who's the Reverend Run? What's his name? Run DMC. The Adidas. Damn. I don't know if they heard that, people yelling. But yeah, fashion has always been hip hop. So to act like ASAP's impact on the fashion element of hip hop is irrelevant is crazy. Like these Drake fans aren't real hip hop fans. We could get into that later, but a lot of Drake fans are not hip hop fans. How you gonna say that's irrelevant? Like hip hop was founded on fashion. Like what are we talking about here? Like Black Americans, we love fashion. I don't know if that's rooted from slavery, but we love flashing, flashy clothes. We love flexing. Like, so to say that it's not irrelevant, it's just crazy. So yeah, we gotta give him his flowers, and I hope people realize, like, and the people that really matter realize that's what that matters. But just want more people to realize the impact.